We have rugged open land on the California coast, and it's time to build a brand new city. One that is absolutely beautiful. This little geographic feature will be the iconic centerpiece. Let's call it Mesa Verde. We are creating everything from scratch today, including a new road network, a historic downtown, and lots of customizations all around the end of our rail line. I'm College Builder, your friendly college dean playing Cities Skylines 2. Welcome back to Marathon Cove. This is episode 26. Marathon Cove has islands, resorts, and over 50 miles of rail. But here on this peninsula, which juts out into the Pacific Ocean, we have a blank canvas. Our central rail line circles around from Cape Vista to the airport, our future downtown, and then makes its way out to this empty land. Because of this mesa in the middle of the otherwise flat peninsula, we will call this area Mesa Verde. To build a brand new, beautiful city, we will need some basic infrastructure and to connect it to our California freeway. Let's pull the freeway back away from the lake a bit. Construction on the freeway system in Marathon Cove started in the early 1940s, around the same time as the one in San Diego. Like most California freeways, they were constructed around existing development, connecting different cities to relieve bottlenecks on local streets and avenues. We'll call the Pacific Coast Freeway the I-3, connecting up the island of Descanso Bay with the rest of the region. At the heart of this community sits the historic City Hall, a custom asset on PDX mods by McWelshman. This City Hall, built in 1913 during Mesa Verde's construction boom, features neoclassical style, reflecting a trend of looking to the past for inspiration. It was built right here next to Mesa Verde's terminal train station. California Southern Railroad started passenger service in Marathon Cove in 1886, linking to the larger Southern California region. Let's bring in our central rail line from the future downtown train hub. Using the line tool, we will simply grab the line and drag it all the way out to Mesa Verde's terminus. Then we just reconnect the line in the central station, and trains are ready to head off to Mesa Verde. Mesa Verde's history dates back long before the railroad. The Spanish created a small settlement here in the 1700s, around the same time as Descanso Bay, providing a dock for boats traveling to and from the island. In 1850, when California became a state, wealthy industrialists in the mining industry acquired a number of the Pueblo lots and created the first Mesa Verde Park. Settlers came here for opportunities in fishing and mining, and the town was incorporated, quickly growing up around the unusual mesa. This was followed by a real estate boom in the 1880s, passenger rail in 1886, and finally the Grand City Hall in 1913. As we develop our road network, we want to make sure that this historic legacy is clearly visible. The City Hall sits facing what will become that original park land, and the rail terminus is right on the opposite edge of the park. City planners did an excellent job thinking about road hierarchy as they laid out streets and avenues, but of course, it is the freeway system in the 1940s and 50s that created scars across the city. We will add a second partial interchange on the other side of the mesa, so this area won't be a cul-de-sac. Rearranging the railroad isn't surprising, considering the tight space of the freeway between the small lake and the mesa. The freeway system's main goal was to reduce traffic during California's rapid growth, with grade separation allowing commuters to quickly traverse clogged streets. Here in Mesa Verde, you see some of those 20th century alterations where blocks have been cut through to make way for the I-3. Although the historic rail line had some adjustments due to the freeway, I don't think it would have been fully elevated through here. Removing the elevated portions and smoothing the terrain keeps this looking realistic. We have our historic infrastructure. Now, let's add the population. We have almost no office buildings across Marathon Cove, but that is about to change. Mesa Verde's first high-rise, a modest 8 stories, standing at 75 feet tall, was built in 1908, 5 years after Los Angeles built its first high-rise. The City Council in Mesa Verde enacted height restrictions soon thereafter, limiting future buildings to a max height of 100 feet for aesthetic and safety reasons. All of these buildings we are placing are office buildings, and none of them exceed 10 stories. Think of it as a medium-density office zone. We are trying to capture the building pattern and restrictions that guided development in Mesa Verde up through the 1980s. With all of these office buildings, we are creating lots of jobs and traffic. Along with our historic core, we can place some more recent construction, including the Brand and Lifestyle Center from the Supply Chains Pack. Now, let's check the data. Healthcare, fire, police, post, telecom, tourism. The old post office by Detective 93 adds a touch of history. The Netherlands Fire Station is a more modern addition, as is the City Police Station, both with supporting helipads. The Northeast USA Health Clinic is also a bit older. Let's add a contemporary parking garage by the train terminus and a gas station, both which support commuters. Finally, let's place a telecom tower by the San Carlos University to support the broader region. Let's continue expanding our beautiful historic core in Mesa Verde, this time adding commercial zones. The Apollo Theater and Clifford Building by DARF are both perfect additions. The first theater was built in Mesa Verde in 1905. The baker and confectionery from Supply Chains looks like an old industrial building that went through a 21st century renovation. Soleil's gorgeous mixed-use brickworks are also fitting as rehabbed warehouses. This brings us to almost 300 residents and over 2,400 jobs. It's definitely time to add more mixed use, sticking with our historic theme by focusing on the USA Southwest and Northeast region packs. Where our assets allow it, we are also looking for Beaux-Arts and Art Deco structures, keeping in mind the height restrictions imposed by the Mesa Verde City Council. Let's not forget death care, adding in a historic cemetery that was created in 1798. Contemporary mixed-use buildings add present-day development. And now our population has skyrocketed past 1,200 residents and 2,700 jobs. Every building we are placing is done so with intentionality, thinking about the layers of history that have accumulated and how newer green roof construction has been added in to create a mix that feels realistic for our Southern California community. Let's place another gas station, which is essential for a car-centric city as we surpass 2,000 residents. Our traffic info view shows how Mesa Verde has been integrated into the larger Marathon Cove region. We are strictly using assets that appear to be low or medium density from Cities Skylines 2 vanilla game, content creator packs, region packs, and PDX mods. There is an oddly shaped block by the rail terminus where I want to fit the Apex climbing asset. We will use the Better Bulldozer mod to remove the extra parts so it stays fully functional and fits the space. Our wall-to-wall assets, new and old, are all fitting together to create a beautiful city center. It appears that the rail terminus is bustling with citizens moving in, and we have now passed 2,500 residents and over 3,300 jobs. We are going to switch gears a bit and focus more on medium-density residential. Let's place the Netherlands Elementary School and the Modern High School. As with any city, we are going to make a few exceptions to our height restriction. We'll place the 3 tallest buildings in the city, all historic signature buildings that received special waivers to go above 100 feet. We also have one modern office high-rise that was approved to be 180 feet. This one was extremely controversial when it was approved in 2001, as the developer was a friend of 2 city council members, a fact they did not disclose. Mesa Verde has passed 4,000 residents and 4,000 jobs, and the city is truly coming to life. We've added some more commercial and office spaces as is fitting for a beautiful city center, but honestly, we really need to focus on residential to avoid a very lopsided economy. As we move into blocks further from the historic downtown core, we will place more medium-density residential. All of these blocks were created as the population boomed, radiating out through careful planning in the early 1900s. The very center with the city hall and rail terminus were the starting point, which involved purchasing former Pueblo lots and converting them with new private development after the city was incorporated. The central part was the densest, and why the city council sometimes justified a violation of their height restriction. Further away, such as in these blocks, we find much shorter apartments and row houses, creating a more neighborhood feel. Our style here is a mix of USA Northeast and Southwest structures, including some vanilla assets. Once we move beyond the core, we will start to transition into even smaller apartments and then single-family homes, something we will not do today. If you want to stay up to date on this series, I would encourage you to subscribe and turn on your notifications. I love these outer blocks because they stand in such contrast to those closer to the City Hall. You can already see how much shorter they are. Although we have plenty of jobs, we will place mixed-use zones right along the avenue. Back near the city entrance and freeway, we'll create more historic apartments and some low-rent buildings. Perhaps it is not surprising that these were the blocks they tore into in order to build the freeway. You can certainly imagine that those living here next to the interchange are not happy about the road noise. At a future point, we will need to think about what the remaining part of the neighborhood looks like on the other side of the freeway. For now, let's continue packing in more residents. You can see them all moving in as they come down the off-ramp. So many of these apartments are historic structures, reflecting a time when the city grew rapidly. California's population more than doubled in the 1910s and 1920s, and Mesa Verde was no exception. We now have nearly 10,000 residents. With our city booming, it's time to fill in all the spaces we have left open and turn Mesa Verde into something even more beautiful. For the central commons in front of City Hall, we will create a large custom park, using pathways to make it look like it all fits seamlessly. The custom brick surfaces are one of my favorites. For the grass, we will layer on some of Gaga XM's grass textures. I like to do this randomly so it doesn't look too pristine. Even well-cared-for public parks shouldn't look perfect. We will give the commons some flowers and bushes throughout, and then let's create rows of our California palm trees. The park is already so popular with our residents, and the info view shows that it is filled with tourists. We're now going to fill the remaining empty spaces, seeing how many more small parks and plazas we can add. Near the train station, we left open 2 large areas for a plaza on either side of the road. We will also customize these with our own surfaces and trees. With the commons at one end of the train station and these plazas on the other, the center of our city core offers many opportunities for leisure. There is one more large space for a plaza in the middle of our office towers, a place to escape during the workday. Next, let's focus on the train station. Its usage here has exploded, and the walking area is far too narrow for this many passengers. We can manually expand the walking zone by dragging it to a larger size. Now, we will begin to fill in the grass areas with some dirt, creating spaces where we can do more formal plantings in and around the sidewalks. This extra-wide pedestrian path will help bring passengers in and out, and smaller paths will create new ways to the platform. Using the Advanced Line Tool mod, let's turn on the grid feature and create some formal plantings with a small cultivated bush. Although this rail station dates back to 1886, it has been through numerous upgrades over the years, including this landscaping redesign in 2015. In contrast to the formal areas, we will create layers of dirt and mud around the tracks as you move away from the station, using Sully's riverbed surfaces. The bushes here are much wilder. Let's finally line everything with some California palm trees. Let's place a few extra bicycle racks on either side of the station. I'm not entirely satisfied with the plain concrete surface, so let's try to give it an upgrade. The first option is a beautiful slate paving stone with brick patterns, but it feels a bit busy. Using the bucket tool, we will select some concrete blocks. They are better than the plain gray paving, but are not too loud. In order to balance things out, let's create a few more planting beds for our bushes. The station is a simple rail terminus, but we have made it very special. We have many more open spaces calling for our attention, including places with doors and driveways that need to be connected. For example, at our historic City Hall, we can help it feel more integrated into the space by creating the appearance of a wider sidewalk and adding more bushes around the lawn. By placing the City Hall asset on a bigger lot than it needs and then adding extra sidewalks, grass textures, and bushes, we make the overall asset look bigger than it is. Let's just add some invisible pedestrian paths over our extra sidewalks to ensure they are fully utilized. Turning now to our extra tall landmark tower, completed in 1924, let's expand the surface around it, add a pocket park, and make it appear situated within a special plaza. The food truck park is also a perfect addition for a lunchtime retreat. It doesn't take long before citizens are walking through our new pathways. Rows of bushes help the landscaping feel tied to the City Hall. These are the more prominent parks around the center, but what about the interstitial spaces that may be forgotten? As you build a city, there will be many tiny corners and nooks that remain unfilled. Part of the fun for me in playing Cities Skylines 2 is designing those little spots, places like this one by the park with a desire path cut through by pedestrians. When you have an oddly shaped corner, we can just take the pavement and extend it to look like it was purposely created that way. Little one-by-one pocket parks bring attractiveness to the corner. Full-grown trees are essential to give the block an aged look. Worn patches of grass remind us that this is a city center, and not everything is perfect. Extra brick and invisible paths add new routes for pedestrians. Opposite a well-maintained office is one that has a neglected lawn. Let's throw in an early 2000s-style, high-density tower right by the center. It at least appears to be within the City Council's height restrictions. Even an alley deserves detailing. A longer 1x6 canopy park along the edge of an office feels fitting for this type of district and creates natural buffer space between the building and the road. It is a reminder that you do not need to fill every square in a block with buildings. Leaving small gaps helps give your buildings the space they need to stand on their own, and it provides extra pedestrian space for your citizens to move about. The interstitial spaces also help us tell the story of our city. Has the city been perfectly maintained? Or have some parts fallen into disrepair and need attention? What we do in these little spaces says so much about that story. It's also helpful, as we have done here, to mix buildings of different sizes. It is rare to go into a city center in the US and see every block filled with high-rises. I spent 20 years living in Chicago, one of my favorite cities. Even in the dense parts of downtown, you would sometimes find an old 3-story brownstone crammed in between tall, newer developments, or shorter towers next to taller ones. Residential was mixed with office and commercial. This type of contrast, as we have created in Mesa Verde, provides a rich texture to your builds in Cities Skylines 2 and helps them feel realistic. As we are expanding and adding surfaces, you will notice that so many of these buildings have side or rear doorways or garages. Paying attention to these doors and creating paths for them ensures that your citizens can use them and makes the buildings feel authentically situated within its block and not just plopped down. The baker and confectionery building, for example, has multiple doors on every side, and people who work there will use all of them. We can assume this building was an important industrial facility for much of the 20th century, but was more recently renovated into corporate offices around the same time the train station was redesigned. Mesa Verde is definitely in a renaissance period as new talent has moved in for the growing tech industry. We haven't looked at parking or much about public transport in this episode. Let's add a few more surface lots to the garages and other lots we already have. We won't address public transportation today. That will be saved for a broader transit fix episode across all of Marathon Cove. Right now, we are focused on building a beautiful, medium-density city by filling in corners and gaps with parks, creating patches of worn dirt and grass, and making spaces that feel truly lived in by our residents. Every corner is a new opportunity to add a tiny park with a set of benches and to create a little plaza through which our citizens can pass. Some of these details reflect the changing socioeconomic status of the people who live here and how city planners think about public spaces. In 1850, when wealthy industrialists created the commons, it was intended as a place for the city's elite to promenade and socialize. By today's standards, small parks are used to offer recreation for children or to provide athletic opportunities for a neighborhood, and they are not always well maintained. Others simply provide a space for locals to sit and grab a bit of shade or walk their dog. Rather than the grand parks of the late 1800s, newer small plazas might just be an afterthought for what to do with an empty space. We have come a long way from the founding of our city as priorities, funding, and values have changed. We began this episode with a mere 28,000 residents in Marathon Cove, but we have surpassed 39,000. If you have been following this series for the past year and a half, you know what a huge jump this is for our population. In upcoming episodes, we will focus on expanding Mesa Verde's low-density neighborhoods around the center, on building out the districts close to the university, and on fixing the many traffic issues in our region. I've also uploaded a new save game to PDX Mods that has everything we created through the Descanso Bay Island. If you're interested in playing along, please check it out. If anything inspired you, please give the video a like or comment and be sure to turn on notifications when you subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. Class dismissed.